My name is Tommy Springfield.
And I'm better than you!
And on this channel, I present you with the facts. I give you my opinion on those facts. And if you like how I do that, click that like, share, subscribe, hit the bell, click all, so you can get notifications every time I drop one of these videos. Maybe you've been here before, maybe you new.
Allow me to reintroduce myself.
I like to think of myself as a superhero, but you know the ghetto kind. Like Batman, I'm Batman. I live in the Bat Cave, I drive a Batmobile, and I promise you, I'm that nigga. If you just push play on this video, your view, your time, and your energy is much appreciated, and I thank you. But I must forewarn you, you didn't just tune into your local news, you tuned into your nigga news.
What you talking about? What you talking about? What you talking about? What you talking about, Willis?
Oh my God, he said the N-word, and what does that mean? Relax, calm down. It simply means this is my ignorant opinion on what's going on in the world today, which leads me to today's video. Today's video.
Ted, my boy, it's gonna be legend. Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it.
Wait for it.
Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it.
Wait for it.
Wait for it.
Wait for it.
Wait for it.
Wait for it. Wait for it. Keep waiting. Here it comes. Almost there. Dairy. Legendary.
The Central Park 5. Unless you've been under a rock for 20, 30 years, or you just too young, everybody knows the Central Park 5 were 5 kids who were charged with gang raping a white female in Central Park. And one person pled guilty and the rest was let go. That's the first issue. It was a gang rape. How can one person plead guilty to a gang rape? Makes no sense. So, people always say, oh, the cops were racist and the kids were questioned without their parents. Well, did you know the lead detective, Eric Reynolds, was black? I guess you're going to say he a sellout, he this, he that. Those are the famous things blacks say when the narrative don't fit what they want. And then someone in my chat said, oh, well, they were exonerated. Okay, OJ beat the case too, but how many people still thought he was guilty? Doesn't mean you're not guilty because you beat the case. But enough of me talking. I'm going to have enough of that. Let's let Eric give a little bit of his case. And remember, black folks, stop repeating shit you heard. Go do the research. It's right here.
Well, in part one of this episode, we're fortunate basically to have you here because this documentary is coming out, a docudrama. It's on Netflix. It's a new movie about a story that happened on April 19th, 1989, the Central Park jogger, the rape. 5 young men were incarcerated. They were found guilty, and they wound up doing time in prison because of this. And then we're going to find out about the outcome of that, which...
Remember the key fact. They were found guilty. People leave that out. They were found guilty. But I bring this up because people talk shit when they want to throw something at Trump. Because he said if, and remember he said if they did it, they should get the death penalty. So let's get back to this. Remember, they were found guilty.
Eventually turned out to be a lawsuit. You were working that night. You were working in Central Park, anti-crime. Mm-hmm. You had the green van.
Yes.
With the Leafs on it. That's a park police. No, it's just a park van. The park employees that clean up the park, they use that van. You're in plain clothes. Right. You can't. Nobody can make you. You just said it before that nobody can make you.
Nobody.
That. And while you were waiting for backup, you see 30 kids across the street fitting. How many groups of 30 kids do you see just hanging out?
Not many.
And we're on Central Park West right now.
Yes.
What street?
100th Street.
And this beautiful park, this Central Park that all New Yorkers, they hold dearly to live close to there so they can actually feel like they're part of almost have like a country life. It's an escape from the city.
It's the backyard of the rich and famous.
Exactly.
In Manhattan.
Right there in Manhattan. They go jogging in there. They ride their bicycles in there. We mentioned all the different things that they have in there. You could eat in there. You could get a boat, go on the lake. Usually 99% of the time, Central Park is a haven.
Yes.
But not on this particular night.
No.
On this particular night, people that made the mistake of going through Central Park.
And let me give you some background. The name of this show is Police Off the Cuff. I'm sorry that I don't know the host's name, but they're former police officers, and that's the lead detective in the Central Park 5 case. And at some point or another in their careers, they ran into each other. And why I love these guys' show? Because shit, they police, so they naturally know how to question people and get the right answers. And that's why I love this show. So go check them out, Police Off the Cuff.
That evening, they ran into a huge group of these young teenagers, roughly all between the ages of 14, 15, some 16 years old. Mm-hmm. And the group supposedly was 30 or better. And
Yes.
they all came from a certain area, right?
Yes.
Well, I mean, most of them lived in Schomburg houses, right?
A number of them lived there. They were actually from all around.
Okay, all around Manhattan, or just
Uptown, the Uptown area, within a couple of mile radius.
Was there a specific high school that most of them went to?
I don't think so. But I'm not sure. I'm not. I don't know what the what any of the information on some of the other kids, because remember there was like 37 of them.
Right.
So.
And you were sitting there in the van, and then the female officer that wound up becoming a detective in 1PP, she knocks on the window, and I think those are the guys.
Yeah.
Right? But you wind up grabbing 2 of them. Another car grabs 3 of them, so you got 5.
Right.
What happens after that?
What happens after that is they're in the back of the car and they're crying and they're telling us, we know who did the murder. It was Antron McCray. We'll tell you.
When he's telling you it's the other 2 cops, right?
So, you heard him. There's a group of 30 kids. They watching him. They another cop comes up, kind of blow they cover, so they grab 5. And the first thing the 2 in the back seat says is, we didn't do the murder. We didn't do the murder. Now, mind you, he doesn't know nothing about the murder. The lady hasn't been found yet. Let's get to that.
That call these 3 guys.
Yeah.
Those are the kids that are crying.
Yeah.
Antron McCray's already crying.
No, Antron McCray's not there.
Oh, okay, but who's the kids that are crying?
Kevin Richardson, Lamont McCall, and Clarence Thomas.
Okay, and they're crying.
Okay, so he tells you the kids are crying. He names some names. This right here is a website where you can go and you can see their interrogations. And remember, they told y'all, they didn't have no lawyers. No one ever has lawyers at the goddamn police station. That's rare. They didn't have their parents. Their parents was right there. They wasn't giving food. You see them sitting there with food. You see them eating. And here's the names that he named. Kevin Richardson, Antron McCray, Korey Wise. These are the names he named. Stephen Lopez and Clarence Thomas. He just named these names. Lamont McCall, Jomo Smith, Michael Briscoe, Antonio. These are the kids that they caught. So, you can go to this site. You can watch their interrogation videos. You can see if you think they were forced. But remember, you were told they was questioned without their parents. Let's go. That part.
Crying about it. They're saying the word murder.
Yes. And
you guys know you don't even know what they're talking about, right?
We thought they were talking about the male, the teacher,
jogger who was Lachlan that was beaten with the pipe.
Our assumption was him because he was beaten so badly. We figured they thought they killed him.
Right.
So, the Central Park 5 were caught in a group, and they had already beat a teacher with a pipe that was bloody. So he thought they was talking about that teacher. They don't know nothing about the lady yet. They don't know nothing about this lady at this point.
He was hit in the head.
Yeah.
And
Kicked.
punched,
On the
kicked
ground, yes.
while he was on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Later on in one of the confessions, one of the kids said that whoever it was that was beating him, they were beating him so badly that they had to pull him off. Mm-hmm. You know, even some of the kids in the group were disgusted by, you know, how badly this guy was getting beaten. Mm-hmm. They thought it was enough.
And this is the guy that somehow finds a way to pick himself up and run towards the police.
Right. Yeah.
All right, so you have that victim, but these kids so you're assuming that they're talking about, maybe they're probably talking about murder. They thought they murdered that male jogger.
Right.
Okay, you have no idea about the female jogger yet.
None whatsoever.
You take these guys back to the command?
Yeah. I take them back to the command, and I'm kind of upset now because they're all juveniles. Mm-hmm. Now I got 5 juvenile collars, and you guys...
Those aren't easy.
You know how much work that is.
For our audience, the law for juveniles, if you're under the age of 16, I think they may have changed it now, but back then, if you're under the age of 16, for the police to interview you, you had to have a parent or guardian present, and both the suspect and the parent guardian had to waive Miranda in order to be interviewed by the police. In addition, they had to be interviewed in a special room that was designated for the interviewing of juveniles, so that they weren't sitting with hardened criminals that are older than them, right? So,
right.
And all those rules were followed, even though some people implied that they weren't. I mean, it's one of the favorite things when people want to lie about police procedure to say, oh, they were interviewed without attorneys present. That is such a false statement, because once there's an attorney involved, there is no interview. But they say that to throw the audience off, to make it seem like the police...
You heard them when it's bullshit, right? You're never actually really questioned with your attorney unless you turn yourself in with your lawyer and you're willing to talk. Other than that, all your talking with the police is done because you waive your rights to an attorney. Remember, it's because you waive your rights to an attorney. Once again, it's because you waived your rights to an attorney. And then later on, you want to say they tricked me. No, you waived your rights to an attorney.
Did something wrong. The police did nothing wrong in this incident, in the interview and interrogation of these kids.
Absolutely not.
But you're anti-crime, but you're a police officer right now. You're collaring the 2 guys that are yours are Raymond Santana and Stephen Lopez. Those are your 2 collars, right?
All 5 of them.
Oh, so you're taking...
So once again, all 5 of them, Raymond Santana, Kevin Richards, Antron McCray, Korey Wise, Stephen Lopez, Clarence Thomas, Jomo Smith, Lamont Call, Michael Risco, and that's all of them. You can go watch all of them. But let's get back to the video.
All 5 collars.
Yeah.
All right, so, but you're not going to interview them, right? You're going to have the squad guys come down and talk to them?
So when I brought them in, one of the squad guys walks by, because now remember, this is like 10:30, 11.
You're bringing them back to Central Park?
Yeah, back to the precinct. I saw one of the detectives, and he said to me, "You didn't see me."
What a dirtbag.
I was like,
"That's Central Park."
All right. Okay.
Because they didn't want to get involved, right?
Right.
Yeah.
It's going to be a low one.
Typical of the...
So,
obviously... He has no idea what this is all about.
He
this just looks.
He wants something to do with it.
Already? I don't think he.
No,
The magnitude of this, I don't think he knows.
It was nothing at that point.
It was an assault of one person in the park.
It was
5
a juvenile collar, and that's all it was. And
juvenile collars are a pain in the ass, right?
Oh my Lord! There's so much paperwork. I mean, there's a picture of me. You can find it online, carrying the packets while I'm walking one of them out. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's an entire packet for each person that you arrest. And there's like 15, 20 documents you gotta fill out, and you gotta fill out when you're gonna be on vacation in the next few months. You got to fill out just all sorts
A lot of
stuff.
notifications to juvenile, juvie court.
Well, that's the other thing.
Finding
is
out
that,
where they're gonna be
unless
lodged.
the charge is one that qualifies them to be a juvenile offender, the case is going to be tried in juvie court, right?
Well, here's-
Corporation Council,
Right.
and not the Supreme Court.
Right. But here's the problem. They're juveniles. We're going to give them back, recog them back to their parents. Now, if a parent doesn't show up, right, that kid's got to go to Spofford,
yeah.
and they have to be brought to family court that morning, 8 a.m. So now, if you have multiple arrests, right, and there's 5 kids, 4 sets of parents come in, and one of the kids' parents don't show up, and that kid has to go to Spofford. All of the other kids, even though you've released them to their parents, they too have to come back to family court at 8
o'clock in the
a.m.
morning, yeah.
So when the parents came, all of the parents came with the exception of Stephen Santana's, Raymond Santana's father. And people were getting anxious. They were like, "Come on, we want to take our kids and go." I said, "Well, look, you can do that. You can go, but the problem is because Raymond Santana's father's not here. You have to be back in court tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. So if you got work or school or any type of anything, you're gonna have to cancel it, to take your kid to court." I said, "Now, if you could just bear with me and wait till we can get Raymond Santana's father, get him to come down here, then I can give you all, an appearance ticket. You can come back in a month, and
Well, that was your intentions.
that was my intention." So
Because at this point right now, all you got is the one assault.
right, so we're waiting.
Right. So you heard him. At this point, they still ain't charged with no lady in the park yet.
Had made contact with his father. We spoke to him. It wasn't like we couldn't reach him. We spoke to him, and he wouldn't come down. He would say he was coming, and then he wouldn't show up. So, in the meantime,
How many hours are we talking about?
he didn't come. He didn't get there till around 7 in the morning.
And what time did you start calling him?
As soon as we got to the precinct.
I was 9:30, 10 o'clock at night?
Yeah, I was trying to bang out that paperwork because there was so many of them, and they sent my partner home. To keep from
They didn't want to pay him overtime.
no overtime.
That's unbelievable.
The dirty word in the
Isn't
police
that
department.
Once again, not knowing what the magnitude of this case is, and you getting
No, I'm by myself.
you're getting rid of
processing
a cop
these
that can help you.
The overtime monster. They don't want to pay overtime.
All right, so
So now,
when does this thing start? Like you start dawning on you, like holy shit, this is something else.
it didn't until when the midnight crew turned out. 2 cops, Bobby Calamay and Joe Walsh, stopped at 102nd Street in Central Park West, the cross drive, to have coffee. Have a cup of coffee. You're going to be up all night. So while they're waiting, a couple of guys come walking out of the woods, and they approach him and they say, "Listen, there's a man's body down there in the ravine." And it was a jogger. They thought she was a man, because she's got a very slim build, because she runs. Anyway, long story short, she gets removed to Metropolitan Hospital. Night Watch responds. The Night Watch detectives find out that I had locked up these kids for wilding in the park, right? And then there was an even larger group.
Just go back to that word, wilding.
Yes.
That was not a word that I used back then. I was in citywide anti-crime. I've done 3.5 years. We used to use the word wolf packs.
Yeah.
There were huge groups and then the city invented a more palatable word called disorderly groups to describe them. So the word wilding was invented by who?
That was their word. That's what they called it.
The kids.
We're going wilding.
Right, okay.
It was that was...
It's not
what
a
they
word that
call-
you created.
No. Contrary to Ken Burns' law.
And it was on the front of the New York Times back then. I'll probably put a clip up.
That we made it up to make it sound worse. No, that was theirs.
What did that mean to you? What was explained to you? What did the word wilding mean?
Just rampaging. Just rampaging.
Which means what?
Assaulting people, breaking things, just rioting.
Okay.
Basically rioting. So,
So you're saying that the first time that you started having an inkling, a feeling that this is much bigger than this is going to be bigger than this original case is because those two officers, they were sitting in a marked car and they were approached by some witnesses that said they saw a man's body. Turns out to be a woman's body.
Right.
Down what? Down
in the ravine on 102nd Street.
All right. So I guess they went to go check it out.
Right. So they check it out. They call an ambulance. She's removed to Metropolitan Hospital. Night
Did you
watch
see
comes.
the body at that point?
No.
No.
I didn't even know of it.
I mean, the person, she's alive.
Right.
Barely though.
Yeah.
But the
Right.
description
She was likely to die at that time when
When they first discovered her.
Yeah.
I mean, the reports, the injuries that she suffered was, I think it was like 80% blood loss.
Yeah.
I think if I remember correctly, one of her eyes, from the blow to the head, one of her eyes came out of the socket.
I wouldn't be surprised.
And her head was smashed several times.
Yeah.
Skull fracture. So she was lying, barely clothed.
Yeah, it was
in the ravine there.
She was laying in mud.
Mm-hmm.
What it was very muddy, and there was a stream nearby. So the cold water and the cool mud surrounded her head and kept her brain from swelling within her cranium. That's what saved her life.
Wow.
That was the only thing that saved her life. She would have died if it weren't for that. If it weren't for those conditions where she was found.
Well, that's interesting.
So, but anyway, the night watch responded to the hospital. When they found out what I had, they called up the desk and told them to tell me not to release them until night watch has had a chance to interview each one of the kids. But they wanted to interview me first. So I went to the crime scene. I spoke to the detectives, and I was specifically told. They said, "Listen, we don't think it was them. This doesn't look like something that kids would have done." They said, but because they were in the park at the time that this was happening, at the same time in the same location, they would like to interview them before I release them.
Now, so we have a whole different shift of police come in. They find the body. Has nothing to do with these little dudes. These little dudes was charged with something else, but it happened to be at the same time in the park. And from what he's saying, I have no reason to believe he's a liar. That he was told, we don't even think it's them, but because they was there at the same time, we want to talk to them. That's what's going on.
Because they may have seen something.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe one of the kids saw somebody dragging a woman, off the road or something, or whatever. So,
and mind you, earlier the kids say, we didn't do the murder. We ain't do the murder. Remember?
This, of course, as you guys know, this is a common investigative technique where you debrief prisoners who are, arrested in the same area that a violent crime has taken place.
Of course.
So, I went back and started, trying to finish up the paperwork. And that's finally when when Raymond Santana's father showed up. Because we called up his sister. The sister didn't show up. Then we called up the grandmother. The grandmother said she would come and she was going to, get a cab. And we're like, no, don't take a cab. We're going to send a car to get you. Because we're not taking any chances. No one else was going to come. I was like, I got to get out of here.
That's good for a guardian, the grandmother?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't matter because when the radio car came back with the grandmother, the father came along also.
Mm-hmm. But if he didn't show up, the grandmother's good enough.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, unless she's like senile.
So I'm trying to get this picture in my head right now. You mentioned the juveniles; they have to be separated. So all throughout the precinct here, there's 5 rooms, and inside one of those rooms is going to be one of these kids that was collared plus his parents.
No, it was different. We had a separate building. Central Park had a separate administrative building from the rest of the station house, and that was our designated juvenile room. and that building had just 2 rooms in it.
Okay.
So one room had where the entrance was to get in, to go in or go out, was where all the parents were with their kids.
So they're all sitting in the same room?
Mm-hmm.
And they could all talk to each other?
Yeah.
Even the kids?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And we're talking about for hours.
Yeah. Well, they did have stuff to say while they were there. One of the things I heard Raymond Santana tell the other kids was that they were going to Spofford, and if they did go to Spofford, that they would all stick together and fuck everybody up. Mm-hmm. And I just kind of looked at them like, what the fuck is wrong with this kid? Mm-hmm. You know? I mean... And
this is in passing. You're going from one room to the other, paperwork, stuff like that, or you're sitting at a desk somewhere.
Sitting there, just doing.
So you're sitting in the same room with the parents and the.
No, that was before the parents got there.
Okay.
That was when parents. And before the parents got there, my partner Bobby said to them, "Why are you guys out here beating people up? You should be with your girlfriends getting some." Mm-hmm. And Santana looked at Lopez and started laughing, and he goes, "Yeah, we already got ours." Mm-hmm. So, and we didn't know what that meant.
So let me give you some background on Raymond Santana. He was a sick fuck. Allegedly, he had raped his moms, I think some of his siblings, held a female hostage, was R. Kelly in her. So he was a sick little kid. But let's let them cook.
But then later on...
Well, actually, the exact language you used, according to the fine law report, was he goes, "I got mines."
Right. Mm-hmm. Right.
That was the exact language.
That was the only statement, by the way, that was suppressed by Judge Galligan.
Because it was asked without...
it was asking about their criminal behavior.
Right,
yeah, but what...
so...
Then juveniles are not responsible for, what's it called, spontaneous utterances?
Well, it wasn't spontaneous. It was in response to a question.
Oh, but the question is, why were you guys robbing out? Why are you guys fighting, robbing out there? Yeah. You should be getting some.
And so the question was directed towards their criminal behavior. The reason they were arrested. All right. Anyway, so night watch comes. Lopez's father is there. Oh, and I got to back up. During the night,
just so we know, night watch for our listeners who they don't have night watch if they're on the job somewhere else, or night watches are detectives that work midnight to 8 in the morning.
And they cover the entire borough of Manhattan.
Yeah, rather than keeping every single detective the way you keep around-the-clock cops, guys in uniform, detectives, most of the time they're not needed between those hours, so they keep a small group of detectives called night watch, and those guys are the guys that will interview or do investigations on cases that happen sometime after midnight and before 8 in the morning.
Right.
So night watch
Night watch is finally ready to come interview these kids, and I've got all the parents there. Everything is all set. So we get the first kid in the room, and it's I believe it's Clarence Thomas. So it's Clarence Thomas, his mother, myself, and 2 night watch detectives. Mm-hmm. They read them their rights. They read their rights to him and to his mother. They both agree to answer questions. So they asked him, "Well, what happened?"
So they waived Miranda.
Yes.
They both waived Miranda.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So they asked him, "Well, what happened in the park last night?" And the answer was, "Well, I was in the park. I was with these guys. They were beating people up. I saw what happened, but I didn't touch anybody." And then the detectives asked,
"Okay, who did he say they went and got first?"
Called night watch, and those guys are the guys that will
and to his mother. They both agree to answer kids, and I've got all the parents there. Everything is all set. So we get the first kid in the room, and it's I believe it's Clarence Thomas. So it's Clarence Thomas.
Okay, the first kid they get into the room is Clarence Thomas. So we go over here. Clarence Thomas was arrested when he jumped the wall and ran back into Central Park with Kevin Richard. As police arrived on Central Park West in a patrol car, Thomas started crying and said to police, "I didn't do the murder, but I know who did." At 3450.
He wants to see me go home without getting in any trouble. Just he mentioned his name, and he should know I wasn't there.
Well, when you asked Antron if he mentioned your name,
that you were there, but they were indicating that they had questioned him, and he did not deny that Clarence wasn't there. So there's no sense in asking Antron. So that was the way telling us that.
What I want to impress on you is what I said in the beginning. What we want is the truth about what happened.
Yes.
And I have told that to everybody I've spoken to. I think it's in your interest to tell us the truth. We're trying to make it as easy as possible for you to relax and try to tell us about what happened. Okay, nobody wants you to say something that's not true. But if a lot of other people who were there are all telling us essentially the same thing, and then you say you weren't there, it's my job. I have to ask you, why would you say you weren't there when so many other people say you were?
I don't know how so many other people could because they don't know me. I didn't know half the boys there. There's many Antron knows people he knew. That's another reason I don't understand how they put my name.
People have different ways of identifying someone. Some people know your name, probably more people than you think. Other people can do it by description. But, you know, it would help me if you could explain to me why people might say that you were there if you weren't, or why your good friend would say that you were there and participated in this. So I want to make sure that we give you a chance to tell your side and tell us exactly what happened. Okay, we're recording this. We'll get it exactly the way you say it. But I want you to tell us the truth. Okay? Is there any reason that you can think of that people would say that you were there and that you were involved?
No, except for that they don't want to see me go home, and maybe that Antron was nervous for me. Because when we first first parked, that's the time I was with him. Other than that, we weren't together any other time.
Did you tell Antron that if he didn't mention your name, you wouldn't mention his?
No, I just said. I just wanted to find out why he would say that I was there when the woman was getting raped, because I don't know anything about a woman. And he was saying that too. But I don't know.
He was saying what?
That he didn't know anything about it either. I was lying.
Well, when you left the park, who was with you?
Lamont, Jelmo, and the Hispanic guy, I didn't know his name. And I believe it might have been two other boys, but I didn't know them.
Do you remember when the police picked you up?
Yes.
Do you remember making a statement in the police car?
Yes.
Did you start to cry in the police car?
Yes.
And did you start to say something to the police?
That's when I began to ask, yes.
Did you say that you knew who the murderer was?
After they had said that the person was essentially dead, that's when I said that.
What did you say to him?
I said that I know the person who killed him. You know, I was crying and stuff. Because I remember as they came back, I seen Antron with the pipe, and they were saying that he was beaten over the head. And I figured it was Antron since he came back with the pipe.
Did you tell the police it was Antron?
Yes.
So there you have it. Sitting with his mother, he told about Antron having a pipe beating the other dude. He claiming he don't know about the female, but you know about the dude getting beat. But anyways, let's get back over here to him.
His mother, myself, and two night watch detectives. Mm-hmm. They read them their rights. They read their rights to him and to his mother. They both agree to answer questions. So they asked him, well, what happened?
So they waived Miranda.
Yes.
They both waived Miranda,
yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So they asked him, well, what happened in the park last night? And the answer was, well, I was in the park. I was with these guys. They were beating people up. I saw what happened, but I didn't touch anybody. And then the detectives asked him, well, did anything else happen? You know? Mm-hmm. And they were like, no. And he goes, okay, no problem. And he told me to give him a desk appearance ticket. So I give him the ticket. Okay, goodbye. We get the next kid in, Lamont McCall, same thing. He comes in with his mother. His rights are read to him. They waived their rights. They said they're willing to talk. They asked him what happened. He said he was with a bunch of guys who were beating people up, but he didn't touch anybody. And did anything else happen? Anyone else get assaulted? No. Okay. They tell me give him a desk appearance ticket.
So the next person was Lamont LaCaw. Let's go over here and find Lamont LaCaw. I know he on here. I seen him. Lamont LaCaw was interviewed in the presence of his mother and advised of his right. He told the prosecutor that he went to the park with Michael Briscoe, Raymond Santana, then joined up with Clarence Thomas, McCray, Richardson, Lopez, and Al Morris. McCaw denied seeing the homeless man in the tandem bikes. He also described running after male joggers at the reservoir, including the one who escaped the group, asking if they wanted to race. He said other males were being assaulted by the guys from Scumber houses, and also said that the group called a lady and were punching and beating her up. McCall mother tells him to tell Linda what he told her. That's when he caught up. Millie was naked and Lopez was between her legs. So let's go to 948 and see what LaCaw say.
We was walking up, but then we had to turn left. Then we started walking straight, and we ended up by the reservoir.
Okay. Did you stay on the road or did you go into the grounds? You went into the trees and the hills and the rocks?
Yes.
Which did you do?
We went into the trees.
Why did you go into the park that night?
We were just walking.
Did anybody say, let's go into the park to do this or that?
No.
Nobody said that?
No.
Nobody said, let's go in and bother some people?
No.
Are you sure, or do you think that maybe, could somebody have said that and you didn't hear it?
Maybe somebody said that and I didn't hear it.
But you don't remember anybody saying that?
I don't remember.
Okay, what happened when you went up into the
reservoir?
Before you got to the reservoir, did you see a bum or anybody like that?
No.
Did you see anybody take food from some guy in the park?
No.
You didn't see anything like that? Did you see anything about, did you see any other people in the park? Any people on a bicycle?
No.
Okay, you went straight to the reservoir? Do you remember what route you took through the park?
No.
Did you have to go over a road? Did you have to go down a wall, across a road, and then up on the other side? Well, there's a street that goes through the park. And there's a wall on either side of the street. The traffic goes through the park. It goes east-west. There's a wall there. Did you have to go down the wall and across the road and up on the other side?
Yes.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Do you remember that?
Yes.
Is that how you went?
Yes.
You sure?
Yes.
Lamont, what the attorney's trying to ask you, did you go, you know where the traffic runs?
Yeah, it's like a path, and it was split up.
No, we're not talking about the traffic in the park. We're talking about the traffic that runs through
on the street. Yeah. It went through the park. You have to climb down and go to the other side and climb back up.
I was just asking you because you didn't mention it before. You said that you stayed on the road.
You just asked me to say what I seen.
I asked you what you did. I asked you which way did you walk.
She's asking you the questions in a different way. Listen to what she said so you can remember what you said.
This is exactly what you told me.
Now, you just heard his mother's voice. But when they tell you the lies, or they was questioned without their parents and without their mothers, it's bullshit.
We went into Central Park, 110th Street and 5th Avenue. We walked past the pool and onto the road. Right? We made a left and walked straight, and we were at the reservoir.
Continue from there. Remember what you say. Don't let it confuse you.
Lamont, if I ask you a question.
Now you hear his mother. She telling him to tell. So, evidently he told his mama something. But people won't believe, oh, they were set up and they were forced to tell. No, his mama forcing him to tell.
And you don't understand it. Please tell me.
And we all know black mamas don't play that. Black mama, man, tell them boys what happened.
I'll ask it to you a different way, okay?
Yes.
You feeling okay?
Yes.
We gave you soda a little while ago. Did you have something to eat while you were waiting?
No. We haven't ate since yesterday.
Do you want us to get you something? No. Do you want something now, or you want to wait until we're done and we'll get you something?
Wait until we're done.
Okay, but you feel okay now?
Now, they did say them kids wasn't fed. The mama said they hadn't ate since yesterday. And we know they all got there around the nighttime. The kids got arrested around 10:30, so parents probably didn't start coming in till sometime after 12. And we see this is 9:41, and we're going to assume it's AM because we know from the cop who said it, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, they ain't eat. But they was offered food right then and there, and they said later.
What happened when you got to the reservoir?
It was a jogger coming.
Was that a man or a woman?
A male.
What did he look like?
He was a white man. He had on I think blue shorts and a colorful top.
A what kind of top?
A colorful top.
A kung fu top?
A color top.
A color top. You don't know what color it was?
No.
Was it a coat or a shirt?
It was a shirt.
And did he have a headset?
No.
No headset? Was he old or young?
He was old.
Old? Skinny guy? Fat guy?
No. Slim.
Was he running fast or slow?
He was running slow at first.
Okay. When you first saw him, where were you?
We was in the grass.
Okay. Were you hiding behind bushes and trees?
No.
Were you standing back from the light around the reservoir?
Yes.
You were standing, everybody from the group was standing in the dark there?
Yeah, because we was walking through the grass, it was dark.
Okay. Did you stop when you got to the reservoir?
No, we kept on walking.
Okay. What happened? Were you still walking when you saw the jogger?
Yes, and then we started running after him.
You started running after him? Who was closest to him?
I don't know. I ain't know the boy.
Do you know what he looked like?
No.
Who did you see that you knew that was close to him?
Nobody until they caught him.
Who caught him?
The kids that live in Sharma.
Okay. Do you know what their names are?
No.
Were those guys that you had met just before you went into the park? Was one of them Kevin Richardson?
No. Kevin, I met him at Schaumburg, yeah.
Right, was one of the people that caught the jogger.
A little stumble there.
Was one of them Kevin?
No.
Was one of them Antron?
No.
Was one of them Clarence Thomas?
No.
Was one of them Raymond? Did anybody hit him?
No. They stopped because he was way ahead. Then the second jogger came, and someone hit the second jogger from behind. I don't know who it was.
Did they hit him with a weapon or with their hand?
They fist. Then,
what happened when they hit him with the fist?
He tumbled, like he came down into a ditch, and they those dudes, the choppers, jumped on him. Except for me, everybody jumped except for me, Kevin, Antron, Clarence, and Ray. We ain't do nothing.
So, all the 5 that got arrested, he claiming they ain't do nothing. The guys from such and such housing did it. This is what he's claiming.
And then everybody else was beating up on him.
Excuse me just 1 second. I think it's getting so noisy. I'm sorry. You said that group didn't do anything, and the boys from Schaumburg?
Yes.
What did they do to him?
They was beating him up, and somebody there hit him with a pole.
With a pole?
Yeah.
What did the pole look like?
It was a black pole.
How long was it?
It was about like this. About like this one.
And could you tell what it was made out of?
So, do you think he's being pressured and told what to say? He's telling the story pretty well. Let's get to that.
No.
Was it made out of wood?
Steel.
Steel?
Yeah.
And was it solid or hollow?
Solid.
Was there tape on it or any kind of cloth or any writing on it?
There's like tape on it.
What color was the tape?
Black.
Where was the tape?
Huh?
Where was the tape?
Around the pipe.
Around the whole part of the pipe or just one end of it? Or?
No, I just seen it around the pipe.
So, for him to go in detail about the pipe and all of that, the police would have had to show him the pipe, right? If y'all saying they was forced to say what they're saying, so the police showed him the pipe or told him what the pipe looked like. This is what y'all saying happened.
What did you see the person, who had the pipe, do you know?
No, he had a black and white jacket.
Is that the one that said something on the back?
No, I just seen it arm, like this arm right here.
And what did you see that arm do with the pipe?
I just seen it hit the man.
How many times?
Once.
And what did the man do when he was hit?
He was covering himself up.
Did he fall down?
Yeah, he was already on the ground.
How did it come that he was on the ground already?
I don't know.
The technician says that they can't hear anything. Let me see if I can get some quiet so we can...
Don't say anything. I'm still moving, okay?
Why don't you just, so that if you can move in a little bit closer.
Downtown. Running towards downtown. And then they have caught the other kids. I caught this lady.
Okay, let me stop you for a second. Do you know Central Park very well?
Clarence, Antron, Ray have ran, and the other kids have ran.
Where did you run?
We was running towards downtown. And then they have caught the other kids. I caught this lady.
Okay, let me stop you for a second. Do you know Central Park very well?
Yeah, in the daytime, but I don't know all that well.
So at night you were running and it was dark, right?
Yes.
Did you get maybe a little bit mixed up about which direction you were running in or where everything was?
Yes, a little bit.
A little bit? You said you ran away from where that second jogger was on the ground. Who ran with you?
Kevin, Ray, Clarence, and Antron.
And where did you run when you ran away? I mean, what did you see when you ran away?
We were just running. We wasn't looking back. We just kept on running. And then when we stopped, the people that beat up the man was ahead of us. And they beat up a lady. At first I thought the lady was a man.
Okay, what did the lady look like?
I don't know. I ain't see her.
Well, you said at first you thought she was a man.
Yeah, because they was beating her up.
What did you see them doing?
They was punching her in her face. Kevin told them to stop. Told them to leave him alone. And they said, no, you just a punk. And then we seen Steve and Lopez in between that lady's legs.
Okay, let's stop and do it a little bit slower.
So, there you have it. He said the other kids was doing whatever, and they claimed Kevin said stop, and he seen people in between their legs. That's what he said. Let's get back to over here.
Now he's gone. Now the third kid is Kevin Richardson. So Kevin Richardson comes in with his mother. It's the exact same thing. I was in the park with a bunch of guys. They were beating people up. I was just watching, but I didn't touch anybody. But the difference is he had a scratch on his face. And one of the detectives asked him, he said, where did you get the scratch? You know, at first he said it was my partner, Bobby. He said Bobby did it, you know, scratched his face when he was arresting him. And the detective said to him, listen, you better be telling the truth because Powers is next door. I'm going to go ask him. And then, what's his name? Kevin Richardson kind of put his head down and he goes, it was the jogger. The female jogger did it. And it was like...
So, let's go. He said Kevin Richards. Let's go over here. Let's find Kevin Richards. Let's find Mr. Kevin Richards. Where are you? So, Richardson was interviewed in the presence of his father, advised of his rights, and told his sister that he and about 30 kids went to the park to beat up people. See, he admitted to joining in an attack on a homeless man and attempted to attack on the tandem bikers, robbing and assaulted a male in the lady jogger at 5:10. So let's go to 5:10.
He got away?
Wait.
I think on the road, he definitely sort of like kind of old man. They beat him up.
Person that you mentioned. How long have you known him?
I think since 7th grade.
Who else did you see when you got to the park?
Yeah, Rue Bailey.
Is that a person who's related to?
No, they just got the same last name.
And who else? Raymond Santana?
Oh.
Did you see him in the park? And was he with those other people?
Yes.
Did you see somebody by the name of Korey?
Korey Wise.
What's his last name?
Wise, yeah, Korey Wise. Yusef? Describe Yusef. He's a little bit taller than me. He has like a fade cut. Cut on the side? Yeah. Design in the hair? Okay.
Was Steve Lopez there?
Yes.
How many people were there altogether?
When we first got into the park, it was like 30.
Okay. How do you know it was about 30?
Because it was a lot.
Did you count them?
Yeah.
You counted them. All right. Was Mike Briscoe there? Or is that a guess?
Because his teeth are
From school? Antron McCray pretty well? How do you know him?
He goes on 117. And he lives like his block is because his teeth are mine.
How long have you known him?
I think since 7th grade.
Who else did you see when you got to the park?
Yeah, Rue Bailey.
Is that a person who's related to?
No, they just got the same last name.
And who else? Before you went to the park that night, did you have anything to drink, any alcohol?
No. On the road, he definitely sort of like kind of old man. They beat him up.
Okay. Why don't you slow down? Let's take it step by step. You started to walk around. The whole group was walking around?
Yeah.
Who decided where you would go?
We were just walking. Nobody decided.
Which direction were you walking in?
The west. Onto the west.
Were you staying on the road or did you go through the woods?
We cut up the woods to the road. We was walking on the road.
Right. And you said there came a point where you came upon somebody?
Yeah, he was like kind of short man, kind of old. So this dark-skinned kid.
He was short and old?
Yeah, this dark-skinned kid came behind clotheslined him. He took his food.
Was that person drunk, or did he seem... He was just an old person?
Yeah.
Did he look like a street person to you? No?
He's kind of like Spanish.
He looked Spanish. And when you say this dark-skinned kid clotheslined him, who was that? What was that person's name?
Mike Briscoe.
Mike Briscoe? When you say he clotheslined him, what do you mean?
Like from the back, hit him from the back of his forearm.
He hit him in the neck with his forearm? He hit him in the back of the neck?
Yeah.
And where were you when he did that?
So if you believe the police coerced these boys, you would have to believe that they told them what to say line for line. These boys are describing a crime they committed. Go do the research, folks. Stop blaming people and saying, oh, Donald Trump said this. Yeah, they were guilty.
I was looking, but I wasn't going to do nothing.
Why did you go to the park that night?
I just wanted to get away from the block. I wanted to walk around.
Well, what was everybody wandering around the park for? What were they going to do?
I guess beat people up.
Okay, and you were part of that group that was walking around?
Yes.
After Mike Briscoe clotheslined this guy, he hit him in the back. You said he hit him in the back of the neck. What did he do?
And a lot of people start kicking him in his stomach, kicking him in his face.
Did he fall down when he was clotheslined?
Yes.
Who started to kick him?
Mike, Raymond, Steve, a whole lot of people.
What did you do?
Nothing.
Where were you standing?
On the road, I was just looking. I couldn't do nothing.
Was that Raymond Santana who was kicking him? Did anybody have a weapon?
Not then.
So the guy was
not then
lying on the road?
Yeah, then they dragged him to the dirt.
Before they dragged him, a lot of people were kicking him?
Yes.
And were people punching him?
Yes.
Was he screaming?
No, he was kind of knocked out. But then Mike Briscoe, he took his food.
What did he do with his food?
He ate it.
Was there somebody named Tony?
Yes.
Tony was there? Do you know Tony's last name?
I just know he lives in Lehman Project on 107th Street.
Was there someone named T?
T?
Do you know anybody named T?
As Terrence?
I'm asking you, I don't know.
No.
Was someone named Terrence there?
Yes.
What's Terrence's last name?
McCall.
Now, she asked him about T. He said as T as in Terrence. But y'all want to believe that these boys was coerced. Their parents was there. His father is there. We heard the mother talking in the other video. Let's get back to that.
Is that Lamont McCall?
Yeah, I think they call him Terrence for short. So.
How long did the people kick and punch the guy who Mike had clotheslined?
Just for a few minutes. I could say 5 minutes.
Did somebody take beer away from him?
No.
Did you see anybody pour beer on him?
He just had food in his plastic bag.
And after they took the food, somebody else ate it?
No. Only
took the man food and ate it, and y'all think the Central Park 5 was innocent bullshit?
Mike Briscoe ate the food.
Mike ate his food. What did they do, or what did you do to the man then?
They dragged him to the dirt and just say he won't get hit by a car. They left him there by the dirt.
Oh, they had some compassion. They dragged him off the street because they didn't want to get him to get hit by a car. Oh my God. They had compassion.
Was he bleeding?
No.
Okay. Where did you go then?
Then everybody started walking farther to the west. So then we saw a man and a lady on a bike. They was going past. Everybody was trying to grab him.
You said there was a man and a lady on a bike. Were they on one bike or two bikes?
One bike, two seats.
It was a bike with two seats?
Yeah.
And were they riding it?
Yes.
What happened when they came riding?
Well, like, everybody was trying to like grab his shirt, but they couldn't. They couldn't grab him. And they got away.
Too fast, or what happened? He got away?
Yeah.
So I guess the police told him to say all this. Oh, two people was coming by on the bike and they got away. I guess the police told him to say that too, huh?
Did anybody chase him?
No, he was too fast on the bike.
After the people on the bike got away, what was the next thing that happened?
Then I think that's when like it's getting kind of dark, so everybody was hiding behind the trees.
Where were you at the time that everybody was hiding behind the trees?
I was just standing there like farther down the hill.
Farther down where? Give me an idea of where in the park you were.
Well, I was behind the trees, but not all the way up. I was behind the bushes.
I was farther away from the crime. I didn't do anything.
Were you near the swimming pool? Were you near the lake? Were you near
the reservoir?
Near the reservoir. Did you go over the transfers? Did you cross over the transfers? There's a street that goes through the park at 96th and 97th Street that the traffic goes through east-west.
Yes.
Okay. Did you cross over that street?
Yes.
Okay. When did you cross over that street?
Like, that's when everybody crossed over.
When did everybody cross over?
When we saw the jogger come.
Okay, so let's back up for a second. After you clothesline, Mike clotheslines this guy and they take his food, and then they move him over so he's not in the road. Where did you next go?
I was walking with them.
Okay, where did the group go?
Well, that's when you walked to the reservoir.
Okay, to get to the reservoir, did you go down the wall, cross the street, and then go up the wall on the other side? Did you cross the transfers?
I think they just went up a hill. Dirt or something.
Do you remember how you got there? Who was leading the way?
It was Raymond, and Antron in front.
Okay, so you just followed them, and the next thing you knew, you were by the reservoir?
Yes.
You know the park pretty well?
A little bit, not that much.
All right, but you know where the reservoir is? Okay, where did you go when you got to the reservoir?
So that's when the jogger ate, and then everybody jumped out the bushes. And Antron, he had his...
Okay, when you first got to the reservoir, everybody was hiding behind bushes and trees?
Yes.
And being sort of quiet?
And they said a jogger.
So you were sort of waiting for a jogger to come by?
Yes.
And did you hide behind a bush?
Yes.
All right, and did a jogger come along?
Then Antron had this little steel bat, not a bat, but like a pipe or something.
There's the pipe we heard the other kid talk about.
It was the pipe.
Around like this.
Okay, was there any, it was heavy? Was it solid?
Yes.
Was there any tape on it?
Yes. Black tape.
Where was the tape? All along it or just at one end?
All over it.
Did you see where he got that from?
No, I think I just want to pick it up or something.
Did he have it with him when he came into the park? You didn't see him with it before. You have to answer out loud, okay?
Alright.
As you were laying in wait by the reservoir, did somebody come along?
The jogger.
Which jogger? What did the jogger look like?
He had jogging shorts. Biking pants under the long biking.
Was it a man or a woman?
A man.
Old man, young man?
Young, he's kind of tall. So Antron ran up to him, and with the iron thing.
Where did he hit him with it?
In the forehead.
He ran up behind him and hit him in the front of his
No, so he ran up to him, hit him in the forehead.
Did he say anything when he did that?
Nothing, just hit him. And everybody started running out.
Running out from where they were hiding, where the jogger was.
Yes.
And what did Antron do then?
He kept on hitting him, and then blood was coming out.
Where was he hitting him, in the head?
Yeah, and it was busting. Like his forehead was it was busting, blood was coming out.
Did he fall down?
Yes.
What did the other people who ran out do?
So I hit him, kicking him and stuff.
Did you
punching him? No.
Did you kick him?
I didn't do nothing.
What did you do?
Another one of those I ain't do nothing niggas.
I was just standing there.
And everybody else was hitting and kicking you?
Not every single person. Some people was like just standing, other people was hitting them.
Did anybody try to take anything from him?
He tried to take, but he had no money, he was digging his pockets.
Who went through his pockets?
Antron digging his pockets. He had no money.
He didn't have any money? Did anybody look to see if he had a watch on or a headset?
No, I don't think he had one.
How long were the people hitting and kicking him and hitting him with the pipe?
This was for a while, like 9 minutes or something.
Was the guy crying?
Yeah, screaming.
What was he saying?
Saying help. He's like, stop. And I said, I told Antron to stop because he bleeding. He kept on hitting him. I said, stop.
But he kept on hitting him.
Then like, I think he threw the thing away. I ain't seen him. I think he stashed it somewhere. So we left. That's when he did bleeding.
Then you left and you left him laying bleeding. Was he running on the path that's right by the water around the reservoir?
Yeah,
High up, right by the water?
Path.
On the jogging path,
Yeah.
not on the path that the horses use?
No.
And you left him just laying there? Do you know if there are any stone houses, little pump houses around the reservoir? Have you ever seen them?
Yeah.
Where was this jogger that you left in relation to where those stone houses are, the pump houses?
He is kind of close to it.
Kind of close to the one on the north side?
I don't remember.
The one that's closer to uptown?
No, downtown.
He was near the downtown side or the uptown side?
Downtown. Then, that's, I think, everybody started running through the bushes.
Which way did you run?
He kept on, still was walking down to the west side, because he was always downtown.
Where were you going?
I don't know, we was just walking, running.
What were you doing?
Huh?
What were you doing?
Nothing.
Well, what were you looking to do? Why were you going with these guys?
I don't know. I just following.
At this point, it's still the same group that was together from the beginning in the park?
Yeah.
Where'd you go?
Some, a few people ran home.
Some people left?
Yeah.
And the group got smaller?
Got smaller.
Where did the group go then?
That's when they saw, I think we was on the road again. A lady jogger came.
Was she running on the road or was she running on the same path that man jogger had been running on?
She was on the road. They said,
what did the lady jogger look like?
She was short. She had short hair. She had gray shorts with black biking pants.
Did she have a shirt on?
A white tank top. So they started chasing her. Like they was running. Nobody was around.
Nobody was around. No other people besides the lady jogger.
Yes.
So who started running?
It was Antron, Raymond, and Steve in front.
Okay, and you ran?
Yes. But everybody was running. And then they caught her and like pulled her shirt off. And,
Who caught her first?
Antron.
And
Steve and Raymond's beside them.
when they caught her, what did they do to her? Did they grab her? What did they do?
They pushed her down. Somebody was pushing her down. They grabbed her shirt. And she fell.
She fell?
Yeah.
And who was grabbing her shirt?
Antron. Everybody was surrounding her. So they started taking her bra off.
Okay, did somebody take her shirt off first?
Yes.
Who took her shirt off?
Raymond took her shirt off.
Now, remember earlier in the video, I told you Raymond was a sick fuck. Raymond raped his own mother and other people and held females hostage and beat them and raped them. So remember, I said those things earlier about Raymond.
Was she wearing a bra?
Yes.
And did somebody take her bra off?
Yes.
Did they take it off or did they pull it up or what did they do?
They ripped it off.
Was Was she screaming? What was she saying?
It's like saying stop, yelling help. So I was running saying like I shouldn't. I said don't do that to her. I couldn't do it.
Was somebody taking her pants off?
Yes.
Who was doing that?
So enough of that. You get the gist. Does it look like they're being forced to say anything? Their parents is right there, but y'all won't believe Donald Trump was wrong saying if they did it, they should go to jail. But let's
It was
go
like
back
shocking.
to him.
It's like everybody just like was kind of stunned for a second because we were absolutely not expecting this. You know, we didn't think that it was them. You know, we were hoping they would give us good information, possibly as to what had occurred. But when he said that, it was like, oh shit! Now what do we do? You know,
the other two kids left.
That's right.
Now what?
So now we got to go back out and get them. We also got to go get Clarence Thomas. I mean, not Clarence Thomas. I'm sorry, Antron McCray. Antron McCray had come with his mother in the middle of the night. And for whatever reason...
How old was Antron?
I think he was 14.
14.
They came into the precinct and, you know, like if this was some kind of rush to judgment, he was right there. We could have just arrested him. But we didn't have anything on him.
Right.
You know, so we just let him go. We said, go ahead, you know.
Why did he show up there? Because he just to see what was going on. He was curious if they're mentioning him.
I guess so.
He probably told his mother that he was involved in something in some of his.
We know Anthony McCray showed up for no reason. He wasn't even arrested. Wow. So they playing that too. This guy was named by his best friend, Clarence Thomas, as one of the assailants. McCray was interviewed in the presence of both his parents, advised of his right, and told Assistant District Attorney Elizabeth later that he and about 30 other friends went into Central Park on the night of April 19th, 1989. He admitted assaulting the female jogger, getting on top of her and pretending he was raping her. And he said the tall black kid hit her with a black pipe. McCray himself says that he hit a homeless man, chased and tied to catch a couple riding a tandem bike. Let's see if we can get right to it. Because, you know.
Anything you say in this case. You have the right to remain silent and to refuse to answer any questions.
See, and I never show y'all the beginning of any of the videos, but at the beginning of all the videos, they showed the parents. I just never showed y'all.
Do you understand?
Yes.
Anything that you say can be used against you in court. Do you understand?
Yes.
You have the right to consult a lawyer now before any questioning and to have a lawyer present during any questioning. Do you understand?
Yes.
If you have no lawyer or cannot afford a lawyer will be provided for you now, free of charge. McCray, and these two people who are seated here, are they your parents?
Yes.
Which friends did you see when you went outside?
Our friend Raymond.
There too?
I don't know his name, but I probably know his friend. At first, I don't really know. I don't want to bring nobody. I don't really know, but I think the tall black kid had a fight. I don't really know.
Was hurt?
Yeah.
How could you tell she was hurt?
She was like...
Tony was there? Steve Lopez?
Yeah, Steve.
And
Raymond.
And Raymond? Were there other people in addition to those people?
But I don't know any names. I just
About how many people were you all together, do you think?
Oh yeah, and then after we beat up the bum, like some of us spread up a little. So it's like 20 something of us.
There were 20 of you before or after you split up?
After we split up.
So when you went to when you saw her running and you say that there were less...
Now, keep in mind, he showed up and didn't have to. He was home.
...of you than there had been when you first came into the park. And you charged her, was...
He showed up, they let him go. He went home, but then one of his friends said, yeah, he was there.
Was there a tall, thin, black guy with you too?
Yes.
Do you know what that person's name is?
No.
Is that the guy with the gold teeth?
No.
That's a different one.
Yes.
Is that the guy who had a hood, a black hood? Still different.
Yes.
Okay. What happened when you charged her?
He charged her, and like he got her on the ground. Everybody started hitting her and stuff. And she was on the ground. Everybody stomping and everything. And she got hit. Like then we grabbed each of, like, I grabbed one arm, this other kid grabbed one arm, and we grabbed her legs and stuff. And then we like, Washington was getting on her, like getting on top of her.
I'm sorry, you have to...
So you heard him. We grabbed her legs and her arms, and we all took turns getting on top of her.
Was getting on top of her.
Who got... Well, let me back up for a second. You charged her. Who's the first person who got to her? Who knocked her down?
The kid that first one. But he was like behind her. He was just charged.
And did you hit her?
Yes, kicked her.
Okay, where did you kick her?
I don't know how to kick her. There's like a whole bunch of us.
And who else kicked her?
Kevin, Steve, all of us.
And that tall thing.
But y'all won't believe they were set up and bamboozled. I ain't even got to show you. Go do your own research. Let's get back to them.
His friends got arrested.
Yeah.
And rather than have the cops come to the house, he figured, let's go check it out. Just in case. Like, probably
Is that what happened?
That's my assumption. I mean, only he really knows.
But you didn't collar him.
No.
You had nothing on him. You let him go.
No. But now we had to go we had to go get him, and we had to get the other two.
Mm-hmm.
So now they had detectives from Night Watch go get the other two, because we had Polaroid pictures of them.
What time is it right now?
It's about 8, 9 in the morning.
So there's a new shift of detectives. You got Manhattan North Homicide Squad's working.
Yes.
They're going to get the big guns coming into this case now, right?
Yes. Yep. So they had me and someone from Night Watch, a Night Watch detective, and a special victims detective, Irma. In fact, Irma Rivera.
Yeah.
So we go to Antron McCray's apartment to get him. And I'm the only one that knows what he looks like. We have no pictures of him or anything. I had seen him earlier in the night. When we get to the apartment, we knock on the door, and I remember it like it was yesterday. There's his mother, his father, and him, right there. And the detective told him, listen, we'd like to talk to you back at Central Park, precinct, about what happened last night in the park. So the parents were like, yeah, okay, no problem. And you see, now, I wasn't a detective at the time, and I would not have thought of it. But the detective from Night Watch said, well, wait, before we go, can you have Antron put on the clothes he was wearing last night?
Mm-hmm.
So I was kind of like, kind of curious as to like why. But again, I wasn't a detective. I didn't understand the,
blood,
the value
and all.
Yeah.
Right.
So he goes into the room, goes into his bedroom, comes back out 5 minutes later. He's wearing a matching sweatsuit that is covered on the front of it from top to bottom with dried mud. So now, you got to ask yourself the question, how does he get dried mud on the front of his jogging suit unless he's laying on something that's muddy, face down, which would be the jogger, who was completely covered in mud from the attack, and he's muddy from getting on top of her.
I can't believe that he went in the room and put that same outfit back on.
Like,
I would have pictured him just pretending like, nah, I was wearing this.
Yeah, they was young and dumb and they black. They didn't have the mentality to put on a different outfit. He did what the police told him to do, and his parents was there. So they not that bright neither.
But he did it. He put the same outfit back on, and now you're all heading back to Central Park.
Yeah.
What happens then?
Now the homicide squad gets there, and so now we got a lot more people.
Guns.
Yeah, and we got the press is up there. The press is up our ass.
Does the press know what happened yet?
So, as you can see, I'm giving you a little bit of the information. You can go do your own research. I'll give you the rest. As you can see, it's 1 hour and 34 minutes. I don't know where my laptop is with memory, so I don't want it to cut off without doing my outro. So, we'll pick this up with a part 2. And Like I always say, I present you with the facts. I give you my opinion on those facts. If you like how I do that, click that like, share, subscribe, hit the bell, click all so you can get notifications every time I drop a video. Leave a comment in the comment section. Let me know you want me to give you the rest of this video. Like I always say, if you're a supporter of the channel, much love and respect goes out to you. I salute. And if you're one of these haters out here that think the Central Park 5 was some innocent little kids, cut this shit. That part.